Hi, didn't see you there. My name's Hugo Henzell, and today I'll be exploring why in this 21st century world more people are becoming addicted to technology. This has caused many to drop their books and instead turn towards films. Today I investigate why this film culture is corrupting the minds of people in our society. So with that in mind, let's investigate. Where was I to begin? I knew I had to start my investigation somewhere. I knew exactly what I had to do. I've now come to the city where I'll attempt to gain the public's opinion on whether books or movies are better. So, with that in mind, let's go. So, what do you think's better, books or movies?
Movies, definitely.
What do you think's better, books or movies?
Movies. I don't like to read too much.
Books. I feel like there's more detail. Yeah.
Movies. When's the last time you saw someone read a book, really? Unless it was like a takeout menu or something.
Books, because you can create your own story in your head.
I was a young pilot for a couple of years, Tiger Moths and Overhansons in 1944-45, 100 years before you were born.
On a side note, would you say that books are better than movies?
Books are amazing, yeah. I've read a few lately that just wouldn't believe.
I prefer movies. Really like how it all comes together.
Movies, not read, I guess.
Movies. More three-dimensional. You get audio as well as visual.
Just shocking. The results were just shocking. The majority of the people we had asked preferred films over books. But why so? I needed to find a primary example. I've come to talk to 16-year-old Lachlan Tuvey, where he'll discuss his love of books and his critique of film culture. With that in mind, let's get a move on. As one of Queensland's leading scholars, Lachlan Tuvey is an avid lover of books and literature. I sat down with him to discuss his opinion on books. So, when did you first discover your passion for reading literature?
I've always been pushed to read books by my school, parents, teachers, but it wasn't until I discovered the Percy Jackson series that my love for reading really began.
What is your favourite thing about reading?
Reading books allows me to escape the everyday perils of society and take me to places that I've never been before.
Does book reading affect your life in a negative way?
Well, sometimes I just get so caught up in a book that I forget to sleep.
Wow. And
I end up being tired the next day.
Do any of your friends read books, or are you alone in your passion?
Well, let's just say this. I'm a boarder.
What are your thoughts on the decline in reading in society?
Well, that's definitely an issue. And I think we'll see the effect in 20 years when we have adults who can't read or write properly.
Do you think teachers are doing enough to get their students to read?
Well, I'll give it to them. They're trying, but they're using the wrong books.
Wow, really?
I mean, The Lord of the Flies? Even I think that's boring. They need to use more up-to-date books for the modern reader.
What would you say to people your age to encourage them to read books opposed to watching films?
Well, think about your favourite movie. In that is your favourite characters. But in the book, your favourite characters are going on more adventures. I can guarantee you that in the book, there is more content. Books can just go to a greater depth than what movies can.
I couldn't agree more. Well, once again, thank you for coming, Lachlan.
Thank you for the opportunity to express my opinion.
Well, you see, unlike books, you can't enjoy a film in public. So why do people feel the need to watch them anyway? This, I will find out. To continue my investigation, I needed to look at the opposition, and that was with films. Next up, I've come to talk to 16-year-old Michael Harrell, who'll discuss his love and adoration for films. Better not keep him waiting. A confronting example of today's corrupt film culture, Michael Harrell has one of the largest film collections in Australia. I sat down with him to discuss his opinion on films. How did watching films become part of your daily life?
Film watching has been a huge part of my life, and it all started with a film called Bottle Shock with Alan Rickman. That opened all the doors and potential of film worlds that I could connect with, possibly in the future.
How many films do you actually own?
I own 2.6 million films. Hopefully make it to 3 million by April. My accountant thinks I'm on the right track.
What makes you think that books are no longer necessary?
Well, fundamentally, books are boring. And people don't like boring things.
Has movie watching negatively impacted your life?
I would say it has. I've lost a few friends over some films. And also when I was young, some of the traumatic imagery that was in some of those horror films might have been long-lasting.
Do you think society is for or against people who watch films?
Society likes to believe they're for, but the reality is they're against. People hate things they don't understand or see coming. We collectors are that force.
What would you say to book readers to encourage them to watch films more often?
I would say, put that book down now. Why read a dusty old volume when you can be immersed in the creative genius behind the sexiness of a film?
Well, thank you for letting me interview you.
It's been a pleasure.
You provided a wonderful insight. Ultimately, it appears the society has chosen these films over the books we have known and loved for hundreds of thousands of years. For now, the future seems uncertain. But it begs the question, is this film fever just a fad, or is it fixation? I'm Hugo Henzell. Good night.